afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the post-lunch session. Before we start, we would like to before we start, we'd like to request the audience to continue sharing their feedback on the discussions on social media using the hashtag SMExports. We now have a very interesting masterclass session on best growth practices for MSMEs in exports. The MSME ministry firmly believes that MSMEs can help achieve the country's export targets of $1 trillion by 2027 by augmenting the competitiveness of small businesses on the global platform. While having a good product is imperative, success abroad also requires knowledge, skills, and the right mindset. But there's a lot more to growing exports than just that. The political, economic, social, and technological environment, the demand-supply gap for the chosen product, competition in the foreign market, marketing, knowledge about market access, trade barriers, bilateral trade agreements, export regulations, and more. So, to understand the unique growth strategies MSMEs can adopt to scale up their exports worldwide amid the current global economic challenges, today we have with us Mr. Rajiv Chawla, founder and chairman of Integrated Association of Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises of India, often called as IamSME of India, which is one of the largest SME networks and which is one of the largest SME networks in India. He's also the founder and chairman of Jairaj Group, engaged in manufacturing of plastic and metal auto components and electrical products. Built Natural, a sportswear and accessories brand, is also part of the Jairaj Group. Mr. Chawla is a member of the governing body of Quality Council of India and a member of the Executive Committee of Haryana State Council for Science, Innovation and Technology, Government of Haryana. He was earlier the director on the board of NSIC for 6 years and also served as director on the board of various banks and subsidiary companies for 8 years, including SIDBI and China Trust Bank. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Chawla up on the stage.
Good afternoon, friends. It's a pleasure to be here at the SME Exports Conclave organized by Financial Express. I understand this is post-lunch. I understand that some energies may be down. But I make a promise before I start. And that promise is that, because you'll have to tolerate me for almost 1 hour. So my promise to you is that if this 1 hour does not give you 100x of value, then I'll pay you back for this 1 hour of your time. This is my typical way of working. Only thing is that you, of course, have to understand this and give your patient listening. I hope it will be interactive as well, because I'll ask you some questions later on. I would also like to tell you that I am not a professional speaker. I am not a professor. I am not a writer. I am an entrepreneur, just like many of you. And the difference between an entrepreneur and many other areas where people are is that we are paid only for what we do right. Period. If I make 10,000 components and if 2 are not right, my customer will may pay me only for 9,998. And in case I make an air conditioner, a stabilizer, a fan, I also have to give you a 7-year warranty. So even through the 7 years' time, if there's any failure, you have the right to come back to me and seek a replacement or repair. This is unlike, for example, many schools where students fail, so they don't return you your fee. There are many other areas where you pay, you buy a ticket, go and watch a cinema, come out, you don't like it, you don't get a refund. But in our case, we supply you something, and if it doesn't work, fine, not only on that particular day, but even during the warranty period of 1 year, 7 years, I have to refund. And then, of course, there are consumer courts and so many other things where if I don't respond, then you can approach. That is the difference. So I'm paid only for what I do right. In exports, that will be your fate as well. So remember that no one, not domestically, not globally, will pay you only for your talks. Perhaps there are only some areas, uske liye baba banna padta hai, where people pay you only for what you speak, right or wrong. थोड़ा आसान भी है. किसी को बोलिए कि आपका बेटा होगा या बेटी, तो आप बोल दीजिए बेटा होगा, तो 50% चांस तो है कि होगा. So even if 50% of people who come to you start believing in you, that's a whole world. 50%. Even BJP had less than 40% votes, and they rule India. So 50% is a huge probability. So no wonder a lot of babas and a lot of people who give predictions, they have huge following. Because whatever they say, 50% chances are कि वो right ही होगा. And therefore I begin with this question. Can you foresee tomorrow? Is there actually something called Janam Patri or astrology which can tell you what tomorrow will be like? And this is a subject of curiosity. Many of us, and I believe, and I admit, including myself, when I was a child, one of the first columns that I would read in a Sunday newspaper would be This Week for You, and just trying to see what the world will be tomorrow. And we are all very curious, obviously. Later in life, I realized that, yes, there are people who see tomorrow. Even you see tomorrow. For example, everybody here in this room, you know that today at 8 p.m. it will be dark outside. And tomorrow at 8 a.m. it will be light again. You can foresee. You also foresee that in April, May, it will be very hot in Delhi. And then December will be winters. So you can foresee tomorrow. So if you look at this, you realize that based upon your information, the knowledge, experience, and then when it comes to wisdom, you are able to see tomorrow. And there are many people who predict poll results, dollar prices, petroleum prices, stock market prices. A lot of pundits there who predict tomorrow, who foresee for us. So if you add information and if you convert it to knowledge and put it into your experience, what comes out is wisdom. And my wisdom tells me, with whatever little I have, is that it is possible to foresee tomorrow. And my presentation therefore makes your journey and your success predictable. So no Babaji, but I'll try to tell you how your success can be scientifically achieved. And of course, is it working? Our Honorable Prime Minister, he saw a new India. and he said, I am New India, and laid the foundation of what we see ahead. Friends, I'm sure since the morning you would have heard a lot of data on how India is doing in exports, what India's GDP is, what the future ahead is. I just will share you a couple of things. One, that we are all so lucky, and especially the new generation which now is preparing to be in business. There was never a better time to be in business in India. Never. So much is today's business environment conducive for businesses that all I see is a highway to growth. Just like, our Union Minister Nitin Gadkari is laying down highways and reducing your cost of logistics and movements. Within hours you reach Jaipur, Agra, the whole network that the world now the Bombay Expressway. Almost similar is the story for businesses as well. So once upon a time, you would need to ask people that मुझे कल वहीं जाना है, मुझे रास्ता बता दो, and people will tell you, you go, and then you will see this dhaba or you will see this board, and you miss that one board, you go astray. But today, you leave your home middle of the night, you should have a Google map in your phone, and that's it. And all you need to do is just to know how to use that Google map. And the Google map takes you to your destination in least time, with minimum jams, so many other things, predictable time. So many of these things, I believe, are your tools to achieve much earlier than it took me. I've been in business for almost 35 years. I would have worked only for 5. 30 years I spent trying to find what to do, how to get a bank loan, how to take a pollution NOC, what exactly is CE certification, just trying to see things around. And then real actionable work, only 5 years. So the only thing that I have that I can present to you today is that I'll help you achieve in 5 years what took me 35. And therefore, in this 1 hour, I'll speak of all that you have never read in any management books or in any management lectures, even if you're, whether you're from IIM or Harvard, anywhere. Because I speak purely as an entrepreneur who's found his way in the Indian ecosystem with whatever difficulties we've seen, and then with whatever ease of business today that we now experience. The speed of change is very fast. Earlier I used to say that 2 things have changed the world of business: globalization and technology. Globalization, of course, we're talking about SME exports today. So we understand that geography today is history. So there are no boundaries. And therefore, globalization. And second, technology, which actually means depth of distance. The world is one flat place. Once upon a time, बिजनेस में कामयाब होने के लिए एक अमीर बाप की बड़ी ज़रूरत होती थी, जो एक शोरूम में बड़ा सा कोई आपको शोरूम ले दे, किसी मॉल में, कोई गैस की एजेंसी, कोई डीलरशिप, पेट्रोल पंप. तो एक अमीर बाप बहुत ज़रूरी होता था बिजनेस में आपको लाने के लिए और करने के लिए. टुडे यू जस्ट नीड अ लैपटॉप एंड इंटरनेट. and you can set up a whole mall, a whole e-commerce platform sitting on the remotest corner in India. That is technology. So technology is a leveler. And therefore today there is no difference between what someone with all the resources in the world is doing and someone who's just crying saying, I have little resources. No more an excuse. The world is flat. The best thing about present time is that it offers equal opportunity to everyone. Once upon a time, only a Raja's son could become a Raja. Only a Vaid's son could become a Vaid. Today, anybody who will clear MBBS will become a doctor, period. A chai wala can become Prime Minister. That is the world of opportunity, equal opportunity for everyone. Later, I added two new things to this, what I would say, the nodal points, the acupressure points which are changing the world. One is sustainability, the other is scalability. If businesses are not sustainable, they will no longer be there. Remember, 10, 15 years back in Delhi, they banned diesel auto rickshaws, diesel taxis, diesel buses. Even a poor cab driver or an auto rickshaw person had to convert from diesel to CNG. Then there was ban on crackers. So very small, tiny units, cracker making units, they got closed down. Small traders, they lost their business. Remember last year? On 1st of July, they imposed the ban on single-use plastic. Can you even count the number of micro and small enterprises that have closed down in India? Manufacturing single-use plastic? Thousands. But let me tell you, this journey is going to continue and will escalate. Honorable Prime Minister has already announced that India should be a zero carbon neutral country by 2070. Many large corporates have advanced this in their supply chains. So therefore, it's very important for all of us to understand that if we don't follow the sustainability index, whatever you learn today, whatever you are doing today could go out in a flash. And then, of course, scalability. If businesses are not scalable, if you cannot expand, if you cannot become global, if you don't start exports from one country today and move to another continent tomorrow, someone else will take that route. 4 key things that I believe. And therefore, every entrepreneur must ask himself or herself these questions. Are you global? Do you use technology? Do you focus on sustainability? Do you focus on scaling up? I'll talk about exports, and this masterclass is about how we can better do exports, enhance exports. Some basics, of course, that we have to plan, we have to prepare, and then, of course, we have to perform. Because performance is the only parameter with which we're going to judge ourselves. Small steps will lead to big changes. And I'll make this presentation in small steps. And I'll begin with some basic things that what we need to learn and what we need to unlearn today. We got 2 big things from the first innings. And you know what is the first innings? Pre-COVID. So many of us set up large industries, large bases, large conglomerates. So you can call it pre-disruption era, you can call it pre-COVID era, whatever. So 2 things that we have learnt. we got from there. One, experience. Of course, many of us gained a lot of experience in the first innings. And second is resources. Many of us would have made some wealth, some factories, some buildings, some bank balances, resources. But then remember that past success is no guarantee for future success. You may score great runs in first inning, second innings you can collapse, just like cricket. So your second innings is entirely different based upon whether you were part of the first innings. And even if you began in the second innings, this is exactly what I want to tell you, that someone sitting next to you with huge experience and huge resource base earned out of his or her actions in the first innings, don't be scared. In fact, it should be vice versa. The future requires two things: new skills, which of course means new technology, and innovation. And if you focus on these two things, you'll far be ahead of me, you'll outpace me, and people like me could be left far, far behind. When I was young in school, I was told this law, Darwin's law, survival of the fittest. I believe that in today's world, this law is no more applicable. Today, it is survival of the nimble. How fast you can change, how fast you can learn and you can adapt. And therefore, my biggest threat in competition is the younger generation. They are smarter, faster, more nimble, and more technology savvy. And as I told you before, can we achieve in 5 years what others took 30? And the answer is yes. And as I answer that question, I'll pose another question, whether doing business is art or science. Business करना कलाकारी है या विज्ञान है? अगर business करना कलाकारी है, if it's an art, then I'm a misfit. Because no one pays me for what I speak. I'm not Kapil Sharma. I don't sing. I'm not paid for what I speak. I'm only paid for what I do right. I supply components to automobiles, to large OEMs, best brands, electric vehicles, and I have to supply right. Only then I get paid. Nothing artful there. But then if doing business is science, then every time 2 plus 2 should be 4. Why is it that one factory runs, the other collapses? Why is it that Haldiram becomes a large chain while another mithai shop could be struggling? If growth is science, then it should be applicable to all. Whatever I have learnt in life, I believe that growth is science. And therefore, to the aspiring exporters and those who are already exporters and wish to enhance, I wish to just share my personal belief and my personal experience with you. Just like a human body has some acupressure points, and if you're not feeling well, there are therapists who can treat you, heal you through acupressure. Business also has acupressure points. And there are 10 acupressure points in business. And if you follow that, if you follow those, I see that your business will only grow northwards, no looking back. And I call it GAPS, Growth Acceleration Program for Small Businesses, a program I wrote and what I share today in this masterclass. First and the most important thing in business is quality. If you don't manufacture right quality, if you don't give or serve right quality, you don't deserve to be in business, least of all exports. Even if my tailor does not give me a right fitting suit today, I'm not going to go back to him tomorrow. Even my barber, if he gives me a wrong haircut, you think I'll go back to him tomorrow? So whatever you are doing, whatever trade you are doing, remember, quality is the first thing. And therefore, you must understand what are the best quality practices, best manufacturing practices, best business practices to serve your customers globally. You know, often in life, we are very satisfied with 99.9% score. But in 99.9% success, there is 0.1% of error. And if you are satisfied with 0.1% of error, it means you should be satisfied with 22 air accidents every week at Indira Gandhi International Airport. Only 0.1% of error. It would also mean a case of 1,50,000 babies being dropped by doctors at the time of birth every year. Just 0.1% of error. It would also mean a case of 1,200 surgeries going wrong every week only in Delhi, when the doctor takes out your right kidney instead of left. Only 0.1%. So if their 0.1% of error is not acceptable to us, why are we satisfied with 99.9%? So do introspect, go back to your shop floors, go back to your business offices, business desks, and see where you fit in terms of quality. The world is a ruthless player. If you fail once in quality, it may take a lifetime even to be anywhere shade closer to where you are. So quality today is the hallmark, and especially for exports. And therefore, I also believe that there is a great ecosystem now that is supporting you in this. There are many centers of excellence for quality. There are many subsidies available for quality certifications, both from the union government as well as from different state governments. So I come from Haryana. For example, in Haryana, I get up to 5 lakh rupees for all the quality certifications that the world requires. The CE certification or any other certification that the world requires, I get up to 5 lakh rupees of subsidy. So both the things, and I was just telling Mr. Manhot that today it's not just the era of demanding things. It's an era where a lot of support is available. It is only the ignorance that divides entrepreneurs today. Though some are aware, some are not aware. Do you know that in Haryana, if you set up your business, whatever quality equipment you buy, you get 50% refund. So even if you buy quality equipment up to 40 lakhs every year, you get 50% subsidy. 20 lakh every year. Now, is there any excuse not to buy good quality testing equipment or to set up a quality lab within your enterprise? This is an amazing policy. And not just Haryana, in Gujarat, in Maharashtra, states are competing with each other. Second important thing is productivity. Now you make great quality, but it's more expensive than Thailand or Korea or China. Then who will buy from you? Your own domestic market also will not buy from you. They'll buy a Chinese or a Korean television. So productivity is very important next to quality. Now you have to bring down your costs. You have to compete with the world. Quality better, price-wise, again, cheaper. And for this also, the only thing that will take you ahead is technology. Because technology is one thing that can help you both in quality as well as in productivity. Friends, I always say this, and remember that technology will not replace entrepreneurs. But entrepreneurs who use technology will replace entrepreneurs who do not. So you have to adapt technology. You have to use right technology. Otherwise, someone else will take your position, period. And then again, there are a lot of incentives available for this. For energy efficiency, you save on energy costs, you get 20 lakh rupees of subsidy. You use advanced technology, you get another 15 lakhs from the government. You buy some modern technology, you get another 20 lakhs from the government. The CLCS scheme of the union government, it gives you 15 lakh rupees to buy modern technology. Hundreds of support systems, both from the central government as well as the state government. Look at those, don't miss out on those, and invest in right technologies. Third, innovation. You have to do something new. Look at the smartphone that you're carrying. If you have an iPhone, it costs more than a motorcycle. A small phone costs much more than a motorcycle. So people want to see value. So create that value. Give that value to your customers globally. Think of what new feature you can add in whatever they are asking. Can you give them something extra? Can you design it better than what you initially proposed? Can you add 2 smart features which comes as customer delight when you deliver to them? Innovation is the key and very, very important. And then of course, as I told you before, speed of change, because you have to become very, very nimble, and therefore there are design centers, the Government of India's design scheme, where they connect you to the NIFT and other design centers and various IIT design centers where you can take their help and the government will pay for your design changes and design improvements. So get connected. Fourth, build your brand. People pay for brands. You know, a small belt you buy from Ferragamo or Hermes, it costs about 80,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, a belt. Shoes, 1 lakh rupees shoes. Watches, 20 lakh, 1 crore. You know, they want you to carry a brand. India has not done this enough, but then right now is the time. But then government, of course, is taking its own measures and doing a lot of things, organizing India shows globally, and a lot of things are happening. But in your own world, and you know, for me, what is brand? If my customer comes back to me with repeat order, I think I'm a brand. If I go back to the same tailor for the second suit, he's a brand. In fact, over the last many years, I have only one person who does my hair, and whether he shifts from one shop to another or one place to another, I just track him and I go there. So I'm following that barber. He's a brand for me. Become that. Your customer should follow you, give you repeat orders, and that's where you build your trust. And of course, you'll need to work day and night to achieve that. When you create a brand, safeguard it. Safeguard your logo, safeguard your designs. There are various IPR centers. Respect others' IPRs, but then also create your own wealth. Patents, do lots of things, whatever you can protect, your ideas, your processes, your designs. It's going to be huge wealth for you tomorrow and unprecedented, which in fact, most of the entrepreneurs don't avail of. This is one area where export people have to understand. Fifth is, as I told you before, scalability. If business is not scalable, it will be outdated tomorrow. And therefore, you must always look for new markets, go abroad, participate in exhibitions. There are so many shows that happen globally. But you have to invest your time, money also. But then for money, again, there's a huge support. For example, we give one international exhibition to every entrepreneur free of cost, every year. So choose Germany this year, Australia next, US thereafter. One international exhibition, 2 air tickets, including the hotel stay, you get 5 lakh rupees. Why are you not availing of those? So there are support systems where you are being connected. Domestically, government of course has reserved 25% of their purchases from the MSMEs. But globally there is no such reservation. So you have to reach out there and then avail of those opportunities. So for international exhibitions, you get 5 lakh rupees, 6 lakh rupees every year. For one domestic exhibition, you get 3 lakh rupees. So use this 8, 10 lakh rupees that comes to every entrepreneur every year. Why are we missing out? So there are many support systems, and I'll quickly come to the sixth. Sixth is financial literacy. You may be an engineer manufacturing a particular panel or a particular component or a particular machine. The other person could be a garment designer, third one could be an IT software creator, whatever. But then this is a common factor. Every entrepreneur has to become financially literate. Financial illiteracy is not an excuse. You should know which institution is giving you credit at better rate, which institution is giving you credit at LIBOR rates or repo linked rates or call money rates, or which are the venture funds or the equity funds or mother funds and daughter funds who can invest in your business. So getting right money, right rate, right time, different avenues, and when you've created enough wealth, you should know how to realize it. Apna IPO leke aaiye, SME IPO leke aaiye. Even at a time like this, when the whole stock market is rattled and every last 15, 20 days, if you see what's happened to the stock market, do you know that on 21st of February, SME IPO closed. It was only small 24 crore IPO. It was oversubscribed by 270 times. अभी 3 दिन पहले वो close हुआ. So investors want right companies, right people they want to invest. Do you know that last year, the average stock market returns, if you were investing in large companies, was about 2%, 3% in 22? And if you were investing in SMEs, and SME IPOs, the average return of 2022 was 67%. Where are you? Investors are looking for you. It is just we don't realize sometimes when exactly to unlock our wealth, how to do it, what is the road ahead. Friends, financial literacy is very, very important. And therefore, I compliment Financial Express here. Organizations like them who are investing so much in our Indian ecosystem, Indian entrepreneurial system, and adding huge value so that entrepreneurs can come and get exposed to many of these things. Otherwise, who would come and teach you? I mean, imagine a doctor who tells you that, look, I did my MBBS in 1981 and postgraduate in 1984. And I was the best. But thereafter, I am not updated on the latest medicines, etc. Would you go to such a doctor? Imagine a law topper who tells you that I topped law in 1980, but then thereafter, whatever laws came, I am not aware. Would you go to such a doctor, such a lawyer? So doctor you want should be updated till yesterday. Lawyer you want updated till now, just in case there is a new law today. What about us? Did you ever study after you graduated? I graduated in 1983. What if I told you कि 1983 में तो इतना ही पढ़ा था? Period. So, my compliments to organizations like FE who've brought out this and giving an opportunity for all of us to interact with each other. There are many incentives on exports. I'll not take, because this requires another full session, but how government gives you incentives on your exports, how you can save on your GST, how you can take your GST refund, how you get a freight subsidy. For example, you have your business here in Panipat. Now you have to ship your goods somewhere. But from Panipat to port in Gujarat or in Mumbai, you need to go by road. So do you know Haryana government will give you 2% freight subsidy on the value of exports? Just because so that you can ship from Panipat to Mumbai port or Gujarat port, and therefore you become as competitive as someone who has an industry there. Huge support comes from the government. We have to be aware and we have to use. Of course, then loans without collateral security, there are a number of things. I'll just keep moving ahead. Seventh important thing is to build a team. Now, team in this case is very important. Don't lose your key people. वो जिस दिन आपको छोड़ के कहीं और जाएंगे, मेरे पास आएंगे ना, तो they'll tell me कि वो यहाँ एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं और इस रेट पे करते हैं और इसमें इतना मार्जिन है. So you lose out on your key knowledge just like this. Small industries face this issue. Build your teams. Keep them like a family. Retain them. And then, of course, skill is the new currency. Not dollar, not euro, not yen. Skill. If you have skill, you can earn in any currency, anywhere in the world. But then these are different skills. You need skills today that were never taught to you in your school or college. मेरे तो कॉलेज टाइम पे कंप्यूटर्स ही नहीं थे, तो एक्सेल और पीपीटी तब नहीं थे. So I have to learn new skills today. Tomorrow there will be more. So you have to keep learning skills you were never taught before. In fact, अब ज़माना बदल गया. अभी तो I hope you know about ChatGPT. I don't know how many of you use. मुझे तो लगता है कि अब lawyers और बहुत डॉक्टर्स उनका काम ही खत्म हो गया दुनिया में. Just ask ChatGPT कि मुझे किसी ने ये नोटिस भेजा है, prepare a reply for this legal notice. And your computer will give you a draft far better than your local lawyer. So easy. So technology and these skills, you have to integrate, you have to learn. Hire people smarter than you are. मैं तो सब नहीं सीख सकता हूँ, frankly. I cannot code to run an ERP, SAP, etc. But then, friends, I've learned one thing. I always hire people better and smarter than I am. And perhaps my only work in my office is to help them retain. Now there are about 400, 500 people working in my enterprises, in different plants, and I'm here spending my entire day with you. It's just because everything there is going smooth. Hire people better than you are, and you'll be able to build this team. Eighth important thing is the cluster approach. Sometimes you cannot do some things alone. Do it in a group. Become a group of entrepreneurs who can come together, find your right company, find your right people, and there you are. Create this. And a lot of things I have achieved, sometimes internationally. Exhibitions, when we go in a group. Sometimes we'll just take one stall and display goods of 3-4 small businesses, share the cost, etc. Ninth important thing is, this is very important and very scary as well. Every day there is a new law concerned to GST, concerned to exports, concerned to export incentive, foreign policy, export policy, compliance, cyber, risk, succession. These are the areas often ignored by us. We take life and business for granted. So you have to learn every day. All these things. For example, who knew about this Turkey earthquake, the tragedy that has struck Turkey and Syria? Do you know how many crores of payments are stuck there? The other day I was just reading a report that in Firozabad, where you have small glass artifacts manufacturer and they export to Turkey, payments worth almost 30 crore are stuck there. Now what if they were not insured by ECGL? I saw that this program has ECGC also as one of the co-sponsors. So you have to understand the risks. The man-made, what is happening in Russia, Ukraine, unfortunately, as well as natural, what happened in Turkey, Syria. Can happen anytime, anywhere, globally, politically, because of any social upturn or downturn. So therefore, right business continuity plans are very important. Identify the risks. See how you can minimize those risks, and then how you can cover those risks. Buy proper insurances, product insurances, your payment recovery insurances. So many things in international markets one is exposed to. Compliances, competition. These are the standard things, that can impact any business, whether domestic or global. Even a personal health issue. And here I would talk about very important things. I told you about the natural disasters and things, that happen sometimes globally. And this is important and very close to my heart. When I started my business, it was in very unfortunate circumstances. I was less than 20 and I lost my father. I was an advertising professional. I was based in Mumbai. I'm sure you all know Vivek Agnihotri, the Kashmir Files maker. We were classmates. We were together working there, and we used to stay together. And I lost my father, and I came back. And I live in a place called Faridabad, just south of Delhi. And those days, and then my mother told me that, look, in this city, you can only start a factory or a workshop. So someone from the advertising background who knew nothing about businesses and manufacturing and other things, here today I am in front of you running so many auto component manufacturing units across India. And I faced some challenges. In COVID times, I saw many around me facing those challenges. Proprietorship company, 100 crore turnover, amazing business, good CC limits from good banks, a home loan, a car loan, a CC limit, doing amazing business, happy family, 2 young daughters. And the entrepreneur died. The minute a proprietor dies, the bank locks the account. So all the payments which were coming, bank would start adjusting in own CC limits. In less than 3 months, before even the tears dried, the wife the loan became NPA. Who would know how to pay the GST next month, or the electricity bill next month, or the wages next month? हम तैयार ही नहीं होते आगे के लिए. So therefore, these are the things I believe. Corporatize your business. Proprietorship businesses are very risky. Create a good private limited company or LLP. Find a solution. कि अगर किसी एक की death होती है, तो there's someone else in charge who can at least sign checks in the bank, take the business ahead. You don't do business only for your lifetime. So many of these things I want, in fact, this requires an entire day session on how to identify your risks, how to make a business continuity plan. But in 5 minutes, I just thought I must tell you, these are very important things for those looking at exporters. And then even liabilities after death, how the next generation will pay for those liabilities. So you must have some add-on incomes. Nowadays, there are safety audits. And we pay 100% reimbursement for your safety audit. We pay up to 50% of what you install in your enterprises as safety devices. You get up to 25 lakh rupees if you set up an ETP plant, effluent treatment plant. You get 1 crore rupees if you set up a ZLD, zero liquid discharge, water resource management. So for all the compliances, green compliances, energy compliances, pollution compliances, business continuity, there are support systems available in the governments, in various arenas. And then international trainings, which are so common now. There's a very famous program where entrepreneurs are selected and sent to Germany for 1 full month. The entire cost is sponsored. You stay for 1 full month in Germany, get trained there on how to develop business with Germany and Europe, so that after 1 month, when you come back, by then there's something concrete with you. More than 560 entrepreneurs have been sponsored so far for the program like this. Where were you? Ignorance is the divide. And you must thank Financial Express for giving this opportunity, where at least today onwards, this will not be the difference. 10th, last, and very important, you have to keep learning every day. There are new laws which come up every day, new regulations, new political changes, new global changes, so many things that happen globally in technology, new competition. You have to remain connected to universities, to institutions, to Financial Express Forum, to so many others, so that you can continue to learn. Ignorance, dear friends, is not a bliss. It's suicide. So therefore, be connected. Imagine those entrepreneurs who left after lunch and missed out on this session. So ignorance is not bliss. I also believe that you have to choose your company very carefully. If you have 5 very wise friends, you'll be the 6th. If you have 5 friends in exports, you'll be the 6th. Make friends with 5 millionaires, thick friends, you'll be the 6th. But make friends with 5 idiots. So therefore, choose your company. वो कहते हैं कि पानी की एक बूंद अगर नाले में गिर जाए तो खो जाती, वही पानी की बूंद एक फूल पे गिर जाए तो चमकने लगती, और वही पानी की एक बूंद अगर सीप के मुंह में चली जाए तो मोती बन जाती. पानी की बूंद वही है, वो किस कंपनी में है वो ये तय करती है कि उसकी वैल्यू क्या है. So find great friends for your business, people you want to be like, and you'll be the 6th. You'll ultimately become average of your 5 closest friends. Simple. So this applies to your children, and this applies to us. So we have to choose our company. So for exports, government has given great companies to you. There are so many export promotion councils. Become a member of that export promotion council that is relevant to you and your business, so that they also keep you connected with what's happening globally, various exhibitions, exposure norms, etc., etc. Invest in yourself. Otherwise, who else would? कभी कभी मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग ओवर प्रिविलेज्ड हैं. 5-star होटल में फ्री लंच, फ्री कॉन्फ्रेंस, इतना ज्ञान, सब फ्री, और फिर भी हम नहीं सीखते हैं. फिर भी यहां पर 10,000 लोग आज क्यों नहीं हैं? तो बहुत कम हम अपने इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, टाइम भी एंड ऑफ कोर्स मनी भी. इन्वेस्ट इन योरसेल्फ, अदरवाइज हु एल्स वुड. अपना टाइम आएगा, रिमेंबर दिस. And we run a beautiful forum, and we run a mission 100 plus. 100 units को हर 2 साल में 100 crore तक लेके जाना होता है. We also run a mission 5x. बिजनेस को 5 गुना करना है 2 साल के अंदर. So entrepreneurs come together. They share their experiences with each other. They work together like a group, like a cluster. And then, as I told you, make friends with 5 millionaires, and then you are the 6th. It becomes so easy. So, अपना टाइम आएगा या अपना टाइम आ गया, that is your call, and that is something which you have to do. Because ultimately, it's all about your passion. Ultimately, it's all about the opportunities that are around us, and we are able to grab. When I was a child, I was told on Murphy's Law, if anything can go wrong, it will. But I believe that today we have a new law. If anything can go wrong, fix it. To hell with Murphy. So we have to correct what's not okay. And we have to continue moving ahead instead of just stopping down. Friends, in India, we have an entirely different ecosystem. We have our own world of entrepreneurs. We find our own space. We use our own brands. We create our own logos. We have our own innovations, our own innovative ways to protect our things. We have our logistics. We create our own services that we sell. We find our solutions to the challenges that we face. We have our own simplicity. We make our own goals. We have our own dreams, our aspirations. We value our assets, our valuables. We have a very complex distribution system. We get reprimands our own types, so unique to us. We have our own wisdom. Our ego, our ecosystem, our jugards, our Gen Next, our super innovations on the road, our dress codes. We issue our types of notices. We have our own zest to capture things that are around us. Infrastructure like nowhere else. We make our own choices. We levy our own restrictions. we have our own idols. Our idolization, our banners, our titles, our sentiments, our faith, our own kinds of promotion, our talents, our entrepreneurs in every nook and corner. We issue our types of instructions. Our conveyance. In fact, what is congestion to the world means togetherness to us. And therefore, adjusting 101 satellites in one launcher, it comes so naturally to us. That is our Indian SME, a whole world of new entrepreneurs and unique experience that we have in India. And therefore, we must understand and find India-centric solutions and become global. Friends, the second innings has now begun. It is time to reset, refocus, and restart. Let this day, today, mark a huge change in your lives, in your businesses, in your perspective and vision for the future. Thank you. If there are any questions, remarks, or support.
Yeah, Rajiv Chawla ji, can we talk of flip side of the stories? Recently, we have seen Adani, the way he is facing challenging time. What is wrong going with him?
I would not know. And it is not for me to comment upon someone who's hugely, a million, billion times more successful than I am. Wait for what the government has to say, wait for what the markets say. Whether it's an individual problem, it's a manipulated problem, I don't comment on that. So I'll drop this question. But only thing I can add here is, this will not deter India from its chart and journey towards growth. We are already a $3.85 trillion economy. We will be 5 within a couple of years, in less than 2 years. And then, within the next few years, you'll add 1 trillion to your economy every year. And there's no stopping. So invest in whatever you can. Stock markets, real estate, your businesses, create value, do it. Don't fear anything. Take precautions, be open to learning, consult good mentors and good people. But this is the time to invest. And this is the time for real returns that you'll see in coming years. Okay, I individually, I run my own business. So in my business, I do everything. I am also chairman of IamSME of India. It's one of the largest entrepreneur network in India. And it has its own centers. And there in the center, we do have a whole team that give you real service. So you don't have to apply for subsidies, you don't have to apply for grants, you don't have to run around yourself. Remain focused in your business, tell them, and they'll give you all the mentoring and all the support. As I told you, it's like a Google map. Nowadays, Google map is available, and if you learn how to use that Google map, so we are trying to become a Google map for business growth. And that is what IamSME of India is trying to do. And I just shared with you basic fundamentals. So if you can do many of these things yourself, great. But if you need professional help, the help is available around.
So you have explained for the services. What I want to ask is that do you help SMEs network them, connect them to the buyers abroad, help them export?
I told you, there are, in fact, I mentioned about 3-4 things. I said, we'll arrange support for you so that you can participate in one international exhibition every year. free of cost. We'll give you 2 air tickets and your stall charges and lot of things up to 5 lakh rupees every year. So naturally, when you participate in an exhibition every year, you'll build your network there. You'll do B2B meetings there. Similarly, we send you to various programs, as I told you, a 1-month program, 100% sponsored to Germany, so that you go there, you check out what trade people you want to meet, we'll give you all the assistance in fixing your meetings, etc. The whole program is designed like that. We'll connect you to that program. So of course, if things are available, मुझे तो सिर्फ बताना है आपको कि मिठाई कहाँ मिलती है, आप जाइए और लीजिए, that's it. So yes, we connect you to your prospective buyers. Then a lot of delegations are coming to India. B2B meetings are being organized. Unless you are part of that network, आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. हो सकता है आज इसी होटल में किसी और फ्लोर पे कोई B2B मीटिंग चल रही हो किसी फॉरेन डेलीगेशन के साथ. So we have to remain connected. आपको कनेक्ट होना है. इकोसिस्टम में बहुत कुछ हो रहा है. इसीलिए मैंने बोला कि आप अपने एक्सपोर्ट जो आपका प्रमोशन काउंसिल है उसके साथ जुड़िए, उसकी मेंबरशिप लीजिए, FEO की मेंबरशिप लीजिए. वहाँ से आपको पता चलेगा कितने डेलीगेट्स आए हुए हैं, कितने डेलीगेशंस और अगले 3 महीने में आने हैं. वो आपको बताएंगे यहाँ पर मीटिंग है, किसी मीटिंग की फीस होती है, किसी मीटिंग में फ्री होता है. तो आप जाइए, उसका हिस्सा बनिए. सो थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग एंड यस, जैसे मैंने बताया, वी विल कनेक्ट यू टू दोज फोरा वेयर यू हैव टू डीप डाइव. ओके, no disrespect for what has been done till now. I love Nehru, highest regards. Every government has helped lay and strengthen India's foundation. And that is where we are. कभी कभी कहते हैं ना, वो फर्स्ट गियर में जब आप गाड़ी चलाते हैं तो तेल भी ज़्यादा खाती है, आवाज़ भी ज़्यादा करती है, चलती थोड़ी धीरे है, पर पूरा लोड गाड़ी लेती है. फिर आप सेकंड गियर पे आते हैं, थर्ड गियर पे आते हैं और टॉप गियर पे आते हैं, तब गाड़ी का तेल भी कम लगता है और चलती कितनी तेज़ है. When I say this is the best time to be in business in India, I repeat and I mean it. हम जितना पहले 5 साल में ग्रो कर रहे थे, अब हर 5 महीने में उतना कर सकते हैं. आगे आने वाले टाइम में हर 5 महीने में उतना करेंगे. बहुत कुछ नई पॉलिसीज़, नई डिजिटलाइजेशन, प्रिपेयर्ड लोगों का ज़माना है. आज भी इतना कुछ मैंने बताया, इट इज़ ओनली फॉर दोज हु आर अवेयर एंड दोज हु प्रिपेयर देमसेल्व्स. इफ यू आस्क मी, गिव मी वन वर्ड दैट विल डिसाइड योर सक्सेस इन 23-24, and that one word is preparedness. Prepare yourself, you're there. Otherwise, a new cricketer will come and will replace the old one. So friends, every day there's a new policy, there's new thing coming. The same demonetization where a lot of micro and small unprepared units face the suffering. Let me tell you, India today collects GST of 1.5-1.6 lakh crore every month only with those MSMEs and those corporate sector. So those who were prepared are giving huge returns to the government. Look at the digital payments that are taking shape in India. एक ज़माने में तो बैंकों ने भी हड़ताल किया था. When Rajiv Gandhi introduced computerization in the banks, I remember I was in college and school those days when जब हड़ताल हो गई थी कि बैंकों में कंप्यूटर आएंगे तो लोगों की जॉब चली जाएगी. So things change. Friends, new innovations, new disruptions, new things are taking you much faster, much ahead. You have to be prepared. I told you, you have to be nimble. अब आपको चेंज तो करना पड़ेगा. अब घोड़े की जगह कार पे आना पड़ेगा, फिर मेट्रो रेल पे आना पड़ेगा. तो डिफरेंट चीज़ें. सो आई बिलीव बेस्ट टाइम टू बी इन बिजनेस. लॉट ऑफ सपोर्ट सिस्टम. मैंने जब काम किया स्टार्ट तो मैंने बताया 10,000 रुपये की मैंने CC लिमिट ली बैंक से, कितनी मुश्किल से तब मिली. आज 2 करोड़ का लोन बिना गारंटी, बिना पिताजी के साइन किए हुए मिल जाता है. तो सब कुछ है इंडिया में, बहुत कुछ अवेलेबल है. हमें ही जागना है, हमें ही उन टूल्स को समझना है और उनको यूटिलाइज करना है. सो वन नेशन वन टैक्स, 39,000 बिजनेस लॉज इंडिया में खत्म कर दिए. कितने लॉज को डीक्रिमिनलाइज कर दिया. जहां पहले जेल हो जाती थी अब जुर्माना भर के जान छूट जाती है. सो ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस इंडेक्स में हम 142nd रैंक से 63rd रैंक पर आ गए. अगले 2 सालों में हम 40th रैंक तक जाने की बात कर रहे हैं। इनोवेशन इंडेक्स में, स्टार्टअप इंडेक्स में, हमारे इकोसिस्टम में बहुत कुछ है। जो पहले आपने किया उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इसमें कोई शक नहीं कि आपने पढ़ाया और आपने किया तो हम यहाँ तक पहुँचे। लेकिन ये जनरेशन को अब उससे भी ज़्यादा सुविधाएं मिलती हैं और उनके आसपास हैं, और सब कुछ ऑनलाइन मिल जाता है। उद्यम रजिस्ट्रेशन कराइए, पेमेंट। आपको पता है, मैं लास्ट 1 मिनट लूँगा, इस बजट में गवर्नमेंट ने एक छोटा सा लॉ बनाया, प्रपोज किया, और ये फाइनेंस बिल जब पास हो जाएगा तो पूरे इंडिया में डिलेड पेमेंट की प्रॉब्लम खत्म हो जाएगी। एक छोटा सा लॉ बनाया, उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आप 45 डेज के अंदर अंदर माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज की पेमेंट नहीं करते हैं तो इनकम टैक्स में वो एक्सपेंस डिसअलाउ हो जाएगा। सिंपल। अभी क्या है, मैंने आपसे 50 लाख का माल भी ले लिया, बिल परचेज में बुक भी कर लिया, जीएसटी भी आपका मेरे पास आ गया, इनकम टैक्स में भी 50 लाख का एक्सपेंस बुक हो गया, पेमेंट मैंने नहीं दी आपकी 2 साल 3 साल। अब 2 लॉज हैं जो आपको प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं। एक जीएसटी का लॉ कि अगर आपने 180 डेज में पेमेंट नहीं की तो जीएसटी का इनपुट क्रेडिट रिवर्स करना पड़ता है, तो 180 डेज में देनी ही देनी है पेमेंट, अदरवाइज यू लूज योर जीएसटी। सेकेंड, ये 1 अप्रैल 24 से लागू होगा, और इसलिए याद रखना 15 फरवरी 24 तक जितना मटेरियल या सर्विसेज आप माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज से लेंगे उसकी पेमेंट 31 मार्च 24 तक कर देना, 45 डेज। क्योंकि अगर उस बैलेंस शीट में आया कि ये मेरे आउटस्टैंडिंग क्रेडिटर्स हैं और ये 45 डेज से ज़्यादा के हैं, तो इनकम टैक्स वाला वो सारा एक्सपेंस डिसअलाउ कर देगा और उस पर इनकम टैक्स भरोगे। तो एक छोटा सा लॉ कितना बड़ा कल्चरल चेंज इंडिया में लाएगा और हमेशा के लिए डिलेड पेमेंट की प्रॉब्लम खत्म होने की। सो फ्रेंड्स, दिस इज द टाइम, वी आर सो लकी दैट इंडिया हैज़ रीच्ड दिस स्टेज। और अभी तो अमृत काल का वेला है, अभी तो और आप देखना इंडिया कहाँ जाएगा। आई डोंट नो मेरा लाइफ टाइम और कितना है, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि मैं अपने लाइफ टाइम में अभी इस इंडिया की मल्टीपल टाइम्स इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ देखने के लिए तैयार हूँ। थैंक यू।